decisions on, and I'm talking about things like property tax. I'm talking about things like accountability in education. I'm talking about the marriage laws. Democrats, including Senator Gronstal, have been willing to stand around and allow unelected judges to legislate from the bench, and Republicans aren't willing to do that. Republicans are willing to move forward. I believe that Iowans want accountability in the legislature. They don't want people that are timid about making decisions here. They want people to move forward on these important issues. And I'm here to say that Senate Republicans are here to do that.
What's your message to Senate Democrats, House Democrats, and the Democratic governor?
Senate Republicans will be talking about the things that we believe that people that think philosophically as we think want us to talk about. And I'm talking about the things that I just talked about. I'm talking about property taxes. I'm talking about health care, affordable health care. I'm talking about the marriage issue. I think there are a tremendous number of Iowans that expect leadership from this building, and they're not getting the leadership right now. And Senate Republicans will be offering that leadership.
How many Senate Republicans will you have?
You know what? I do not have a crystal ball. But one of the things that I will tell you is this caucus left this room today, and this caucus will stand together to do everything we can to maintain our numbers in the 2008 election cycle. And as a result of that, we'll have as many as the people of Iowa want to support.
Are you taking your caucus in different directions from where it has been the last year or two under Senator Lange's leadership?
It's my belief that we need to open this caucus up, and if we open this caucus up, it certainly gives all of us a better opportunity to serve and a better opportunity to be heard. We all need to use our expertise, we all need to use our special talents, and we all need to use our voice to expose the Democrats' big government agenda and their, what I call, anti-Iowa agenda. A lot of things were passed this last session, a lot of things are still on the plate, and we need to stand against those things, and we need to make sure that we carry that message to the people of Iowa.
We've been working, and I apologize if I'm repeating questions that you've already answered. Will you be a more conservative group under your leadership, do you suspect?
You know what? Under my leadership, we will have a message, we will have an agenda that fits the caucus. We will look at what we believe are important to the people of Iowa, and we will look at how our caucus fits what's important to the people of Iowa, and that's the message that we will bring.
Top 2 or 3 items you expect to realistically get passed that you want to work on, want to put your stamp on?
I want to put my stamp on returning to the majority in the state of Iowa. We are in a minority, and I think we all in this caucus are realistic enough to understand that based on, if you just look at the history of the last session, showed that I do not believe, if my memory serves me correct, that we had a Republican drafted bill that even came out of committee. We don't have an agenda. Our agenda is to return to the majority, and we will be focusing on that 100% of the time.
Specific items, though, that you mentioned commercial property tax.
Property tax is an issue. I happen to be on the property tax committee, and I sat in on that committee meeting just this past Wednesday. And, you know, I don't know, I believe that in order to truly talk about tax reform and property tax reform, we have to do something about spending. I sat in on that meeting on Wednesday. I heard not one word about spending. I heard only about shifting of the revenue sources, and that's not tax reform.
When I talked to the governor and Democratic leaders, they said they're going to keep a close eye on the bottom line and rein in spending. And are you taking that with a grain of salt at this point?
I'm taking that, and I'm looking at what happened this past session, and they can look at reining it in, and they can look at holding the line, but the reality of it is, depending on whose numbers you look at, we've got about $665 million worth of build-ins for next year. We could hold the line, and we still have about 600 million, or about 60% of $1 billion that will be there and built in. So, yeah, I'm willing to see that happen. I really am. We still have $600 million.
What do you want to do with marriage?
I think we need to address that issue, and we need to address that issue. A number of the Democrats on the floor in the past have made the statement that if the courts did overturn the amendment, or to overturn in a ruling on the case, that they would look at this again. And we're going to be talking to the Democrats about the fact that they had made that statement, and that we expect them to do what they said they would do. We will continue to push that issue.
Like a constitutional change?
We'll be pushing in that direction, yes.
Is that a way to regain majority in the Senate, or to boost voter participation in that issue?
No, actually, I think it speaks more to the fact that it's what Iowans want and what's right for the state of Iowa. This social agenda of the Democrats goes so far beyond what the people of Iowa expect and what the people of Iowa really want that it reeks. And so we will continue to push in that direction.
Are you guys all the assistant leaders? We haven't seen who's.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's my fault. We got started with questions here, but as I said before, I've been elected as the leader, and my friend here, Mark Zeman, has been elected as the whip. And we actually have two new assistant leaders. One of them is Senator Butker, and one of them is Senator Ward.
What does Senator Zeman? What does your presence in this group, as folks who've been around this building would know,
Well,
seem to indicate some more unity in the caucus?
as all of you have written about, the last year is a split in the Republican caucus, and I think this is a sign of unity, that we're coming together and we're going to work together and we're going to work for the common cause. I think that Leader Wieck has articulated the message very well. We have issues we're very concerned about, and the question that I'd like to answer is the one on spending. By law, we have to balance the budget, but how we balance it will be how they're going to go about it. And we anticipate that they're going to go on the reserve funds when we're experiencing record revenues to the state. And the question that beckons us is what happens when this economy turns downward.
So your chief competitor in this meeting was Senator McKinley, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anyone else on the ballot? Talk about how the vote went.
The race came down to Senator McKinley and myself, and I think we all knew coming in, short of someone being nominated, that that's pretty much where the race was at. And at the end of the day, I was elected leader, and Senator McKinley supports my election, and I certainly support Senator McKinley. Senator McKinley and I have met a couple of times during this race, if you will. In fact, the last time was just this last Friday. And so one of the things that I commit to this caucus is that I said before, I believe we all have to use our expertise, we all have to use our special talents, and it will be, I believe, our job to assess the makeup of where we're at on committees and how we can best utilize people's talents, and we will definitely be working in the direction of doing that the correct way.
Many Iowans may not know your name, may not know much about you. Sometimes they're confused about when the legislature's even in session.
Sure.
So let's just, for those who've never heard of you or have never heard you speak, what would you tell them? Why is this important, or why you, or what do you,
Why me? Yeah, that's what my wife said. But realistically, the whole issue here for me is moving forward in the state of Iowa, moving the Republican caucus in the Senate forward in the state of Iowa. This is not about an issue about me, and it's something that I have talked about and talked about and talked about. It's so important to the people that sit in this room and are involved in the decision making for the people of Iowa that we are all together. And it's so important, I think, to the people of Iowa that think the way we think philosophically, that we do everything we can as a unified team to retake the majority, and we're there. We're coming.
For either, I guess, Senator Johnson or Senator Wieck, I mean, one of the questions that have been raised over in recent years is just with candidate recruitment and kind of customizing candidates to districts. Does your election today indicate a different approach to candidate recruitment, or I know you guys have been working on this for a little bit.
I believe that my election today will simply carry on the process that we've been working on during the entire interim.